So we'll see the first concept. So the basic concepts are, we'll see what is cost price, what is selling price, how to find profit, loss, profit percent, loss percent, etc. So now we'll see the concepts. So to understand the concepts, so you need to know some basic terms. What is cost price, selling price, profit, loss, and etc. And what is cost price? So the percent which he spends to buy an article is cost price. And what is selling price? So the amount which he gets in return is the selling price. So cost price is the one which he spends, and selling price is the value which he gets in return. So after buying an article, suppose he spends on repairs or in installations or for transport charges, so they are termed as overheads. So overheads are nothing but cost in addition to the cost price. So these overheads are always added to the cost price. So when this overheads is not given in the question, it means that overheads 0 or it's already added to the cost price of the article. And now we have seen what is cost price, selling price and overhead. And how we will calculate the profit? Suppose the person which he spends and the amount which he gets in return, it is more than the cost price, so then the person will gain. So when cost price is lesser than the selling price, so then the person realizes profit. And how is profit calculated? So difference between selling price and cost price. So in the question, if they mention as profit, you take selling price minus cost price and work out. And in other case, suppose if cost price is greater than the selling price, so then the person will incur loss. And how is loss calculated? It is difference between cost price and the selling price. So in the question, if they mention as loss, so you should take cost price minus selling price and proceed. So be careful. So for profit, take selling price minus cost price, and for loss you take cost price minus selling price and proceed. So we saw how to find profit and loss. And if they ask what is the profit percent, so how to calculate the profit percent? So when profit percent is asked, it is the profit value, so that is selling price minus cost price difference, is what percentage of the cost price. So to find the profit percent, divide the profit by cost price into 100. So we get the profit percent. And if loss percent is asked, so the loss value, so for profit percent it is profit by cost price into 100. So how you will calculate loss percent? So loss percent is loss by, and it is always cost price. So for loss, don't think that it is selling price. So always based on the cost price, that is what we spend. So we find the profit or loss percent. The loss by cost price into 100. So profit percent is profit value, that is SP minus CP by the cost price into 100, and loss percent is loss value, that is cost price minus selling price by the cost price into 100. So now after knowing this profit percent, loss percent, so we will see how to calculate cost price and selling price. So when selling price is asked, so cost price will be given and the corresponding profit or loss percent will be given. So cost price into, so we will multiply the change factor with the cost price. This is the base, we get the selling price. Suppose if they mention X% profit or loss. So if it is X% profit, we add it with 100. If it is loss, we will subtract X from 100. So here base is the cost price. So when they say X% profit, so selling price will be X% of cost price more than the cost price itself. So cost price profit percent X% means, so the corresponding percentage is added with 100 by 100 will give you the selling price. Multiplying it with the cost price, you get the selling price. Suppose if it is loss, so we subtract it with 100 by 100 into the cost price, you get the selling price. Say for example, so cost price is rupees 600 and profit percent is 20%. What is the selling price? The cost price is given and the corresponding profit percent is there. So we are asked to find the selling price. So how you will calculate the selling price? So it is cost price into 100 plus 20 because this is profit. So you add 20 with 100. So 600 so we'll give you the selling price. So which after simplifying we get 720. So rupees 720 is the selling price. So cost price given, profit percent. So selling price is got by the cost price into the change factor 100 plus the profit percent by 100, 720. And but when the base is known, so no need to calculate all this. So cost price is 600 and when they mention as profit 20%, you see what is 20% of 600. So 10% will be 60. So what is 20%? It is 120. So profit value is 120. And finding 20% of this 600, adding with the cost price, we get the selling price. So cost price 600, 20% of 600 is 120. So adding 120 with 600, so we get the selling price 720. When the base is given, so instead of working this, you find the percentage of the base and add with the cost price, you get the selling price. Suppose if this is the loss percent. So instead of profit, so if they give it as the loss percent, so then what will be the loss value? So profit was 20%, so 20% was 120 of 600. Now it is given as loss percent. Loss percent is also the same 120. So now when loss percent is given, so with the cost price 600, the loss value, so which is 20% of 600, the same 120, subtract, so you get the selling price equal to 480, so which gives you 20% loss on this cost price 600. So when selling price is asked, so with the initial value, we multiply the change factor. If it is profit, we add, or if it is loss, we subtract and multiply with the change factor. So but instead of doing this, we can find the corresponding profit percent, add with the cost price if it is profit, or subtract from the cost price if it is loss. So we can get the selling price if base is given. So for 20% loss, so we got the selling price as 480. Now suppose if the question is, so profit percent is given as 20% and selling price is rupees 600. What is the cost price? So when selling price is given and when cost price is asked, so seeing 20% of 600, when you subtract it from selling price, you will get 480, but this is wrong. So whenever the base is given, only then you can calculate the corresponding percentage from the base. But when the base is asked, so you can't find the corresponding percentage and subtract from the selling price to get the profit percent, to get the cost price. So when you do like that, you will get cost price as 480, so which is wrong. So we'll see how to calculate the base if it is asked. So after adding 20% of this base only, we have got 600. So we have to find the base like so cost price is got by the selling price. So this factor is reciprocated and sent to the other side. So cost price equal to selling price into 100 by 100 plus or minus x. And now for our question, selling price 600 and this is 100 and profit was the same 20%. So adding 20 with 100, we have 120. So now when you simplify this and work out, so we'll get cost price as 500. So when the base is asked, so don't find the corresponding percentage with the selling price and subtract, so you'll get a wrong answer. So cost price is got by the selling price into 100 by 100 plus or minus x according to profit or loss. So here we have got the value 500. And now when the base is asked, so instead of working this, I'll tell you one simple method to work out. So I have already told that ratios will be very simple to work out. So using the ratios, you can find the values for cost price if it is asked. So we'll write the ratio of cost price and selling price. So what is the profit percent? What was it given? So profit percent 20, selling price rupees 600 and cost price was asked. So whenever the base is asked, so ratios will be very easier to work out. So and as it is given in percentage, so you always take 100 as the base cost price. So if they give us number of times, so then you take 1 rupee as cost price. So here it is given in percentage. So take cost price 100. And what will be the selling price? 100 plus 20, 120 and get the ratio for cost price and selling price. So after simplifying, we get 5:6. Now what is given? Selling price is given. So how many parts is selling price? 6 parts. So 6 parts is 600. And we need how many parts? 5 parts. So 6 parts 600. We got this by multiplying it with 100. So the same 100 you multiply. The cost price is 500. So when the base is asked, instead of working all this, so we can get the ratio. So when it is in percentage, take the base cost price as 100 always. So for cost price, you should take 100 only. So if it is loss, don't take selling price 100. So cost price will be 100 and selling price will be 120 because adding this 20 with 100. So get the ratio. So 6 parts is 600 which is given. So what will be 5 parts? So 5 parts is 500. So this is the cost price. Now using this ratio, we will see how to work out the questions in a simple pattern. So we will see a few examples.